1959. A bedroom in the Fillmore district of San Francisco. A woman sits on the edge of the bed with a cobalt blue jar of Blue Magic balanced on her knee. A fingertip's worth rubbed between the palms until warm, then smoothed from root to end. No ingredient list consulted, no tutorial watched. The sheen it left would catch the sanctuary light on Sunday morning like polished wood. That jar cost 49 cents. The hair oil industry is now worth $3 billion a year. The jar worked better. Number 20. Castor oil for edges and temples. Women applied cold-pressed castor oil nightly to the hairline, temples, and nape. A glass bottle of Palma Christi castor oil, thick as honey, pale gold, 20 cents at the colored pharmacy. Rubbed in small circles where the hair was thinnest. The edges that filled in by Easter. Jamaican black castor oil is now a market segment worth hundreds of millions. Young women film themselves applying it as though they discovered fear. Their great-grandmothers did this by lamplight in 1940. It just worked. Number 19. The satin headscarf night wrap. Every night before bed. Non-negotiable. A square of satin from the fabric counter at Woolworth's, 15 cents a yard, folded into a triangle, tied at the front or knotted at the nape. A press that held 5, 6, 7 days because the fabric never pulled the curl. Instagram now sells luxury silk bonnets for $45. The function is identical to a piece of satin from a scrap bin in 1961. The knowledge was never lost. It got expensive. Number 18. Flaxseed gel boiled on the stove. 2 tablespoons of whole flax seeds, 10 cents from the health food shelf, boiled in a cup of water, stirred slowly. When the spoon dragged and the liquid ribboned, it was done, strained through an old stocking into a mason jar. Clear as egg white. No flaking. No crunch. Brands now sell flaxseed gel for $12 to $18. The recipe has not changed. Number 17. Blue Magic hair grease. Blue Magic in the cobalt blue plastic jar. 49 cents. Royal Crown in the small glass tub with the gold lid. A fingertip's worth rubbed between the palms until warm, smoothed from root to end. The faint grease stain on the doily where her head rested on the couch. The natural hair movement declared grease bad around 2010. Then in 2022, young women started filming themselves applying it the exact same way their mothers did. They needed their daughters to come home and sit down. Number 16. Witch Hazel and Rosewater Toner. Dickinson's Witch Hazel in the tall glass bottle. 35 cents. A cotton ball saturated and pressed across the forehead, down the nose, along the chin. Some women added rosewater from the drugstore, the kind that smelled like a grandmother's handkerchief drawer. The skincare industry now sells toners for $8 to $30. Many list witch hazel as their first ingredient. Nobody invented it. Somebody just repackaged it. 5 items deep, and everyone came from the same place: the kitchen, the bathroom shelf, the dresser drawer. These women did not separate beauty from daily life. There was no wall between the pantry and the vanity. That wall was built later by people who needed you to believe your grandmother's methods were not enough. Number 15. Sulfurate scalp treatment. The round yellow and red tin, 60 cents. The unmistakable sulfur smell that announced itself across the room, parted the hair section by section, rubbed into the scalp in small circles. The slight tingle that meant it was reaching the root. Modern scalp serums sell for $35 and list sulfur compounds as their breakthrough. Sulfur 8 was on the shelf by the late 1940s. Number 14. Palmer's Cocoa Butter Stick. The brown and gold twist-up stick. 45 cents. Dragged across the kneecaps after a bath. rubbed into the belly during pregnancy. The chocolate smell that lingered in the bathroom steam. The formula has barely changed since the 50s. They did not call it preventative care. They called it getting dressed. Number 13, hot oil treatment heated on the stove, a quarter cup of olive oil in a saucepan. The same oil used for cornbread, heated until warm to the wrist, never hot, poured into a parted section. A towel wrung tight, wrapped around the head like a turban. 20 minutes. The hair moved like it remembered what softness was. The salon hot oil treatment now costs $25 to $40. It is olive oil. Heated. Nothing changed except who charges for it. Number 12. Cornrows under a wig for growth. Women braided their natural hair into flat cornrows. They covered it with a wig. They left the braids in for weeks. The hair underneath grew in silence. No manipulation. Protective styling is now an entire content category. The principle was invented by women who could not afford to damage what they had. Necessity built the method. Marketing named it 50 years later. Number 11. African black soap. A rough brown-black block from the African market made from plantain ash, cocoa pod ash, and shea butter. It was crumbled between wet hands into a soft lather. It smelled like the earth. It stung on open blemishes, which meant it was reaching. African black soap is now on major retail shelves for $8 to $14. A raw block can still be found for just a few dollars in local African markets. Its traditional recipe stretches back centuries. The markup is brand new. There is something the beauty industry does not want you to notice. Every breakthrough ingredient of the last 20 years was already on a shelf in a black woman's bathroom in 1962. She did not read about it in a magazine. She learned it from her mother, who learned it from hers. They did not discover these ingredients. They excavated them from someone else's cabinet and put them in a prettier jar. Number 10. The stocking cap wave and mold, a sheer nylon stocking. The leg cut off at the thigh, stretched over the head, and knotted at the crown. Men chasing 360 waves with Murray's pomade for months, brushing, wrapping, revealing. The discipline of it. The durag replaced it. Then the durag became a fashion statement, then a political statement, then a runway piece at Fashion Week. It started as a cut-off stocking in a bedroom drawer. It started as function. Number 9. Black tea rinse for shedding. 4 bags of Lipton in a saucepan. Boiled dark, the color of mahogany. Cooled, poured slowly over the hair at the kitchen sink. Not rinsed out. Left in. Hair that stopped falling out within 2 weeks. A box of Lipton cost less than 50 cents. Hair loss products now cost $40 a month. The kettle never asked for a monthly subscription. Number 8. Queen Hyaline Cholesterol Deep Conditioner, the tall white jar with the green lid. 89 cents for a full pound. Thick as spackle. Scooped out with 2 fingers and worked through section by section. A plastic grocery bag tied over the hair, 30 minutes under a warm towel, the slip when she rinsed. Professional deep conditioning now costs $20 to $60. Queen Helene is still on the shelf, still under $5. Some things do not need reinventing. Number 7. Dixie Peach Pomade, the flat, round tin with the peach on the label. 35 cents, dense and golden, like warm caramel. The peach-sweet petroleum smell that hung in the air when the pressing comb was heating. A fingertip's worth smoothed through freshly pressed hair. Dixie Peach was not a luxury. It was a household staple the way bread was. Every black child in America between 1940 and 1975 knew that smell with their eyes closed. Walk into a strange kitchen in a strange city, and if you smelled Dixie Peach, you knew you were home. Number 6. The Vaseline barrier method. The small blue-capped jar, 9 cents in 1960. A thumbnail scrape rubbed across the lips before bed. A thick layer on the heels before pulling on socks. A heat shield smoothed around the hairline before pressing. Women used a dab on the cheekbones as highlighter before highlighter existed as a category. Vaseline was not one product. It was 20 products in a single jar. The beauty industry separated each function into its own bottle with its own price. The jar did not change. The marketing did. Nearly every practice on this list requires something the modern beauty industry cannot sell. Time, stillness, hands. A daughter sitting between her mother's knees, getting her hair oiled section by section. These rituals were not efficient. They were the architecture of closeness, built into the routine, so love had somewhere to live every week. No product replaces that. Number 5. Pond's Cold Cream Nightly Ritual. The heavy white jar with the green lid on the nightstand. Scooped with 2 fingers and massaged in slow circles. Forehead, cheeks, chin. A soft washcloth wiped it away. The skin left dewy and clean, without a drop of water. Oil cleansing is now a $30 to $60 step in a multi-step routine. Dissolve oil with oil, wipe it away. Pond's is still $3 at the drugstore. Number 4. The Marcel iron from the stove burner. A heavy metal curling iron with no cord and no plug was laid across the blue gas flame until hot, tested on a scrap of brown paper bag. If it scorched dark, it was too hot. Wait. Test again. When the paper turned faint gold, the temperature was right. Clamped around a section of pressed hair and rolled. One slow turn, steam rising from the oil. A perfect curl falling glossy onto the shoulder. A $300 curling wand with ceramic plates is doing what a $4 iron and a paper bag did in 1958. The paper bag was the gauge. The woman's wrist was the timer. The skill was the technology. Number 3. Pin curls set at night. DeLong bobby pins from the 5 and dime, 10 cents a card, hair dampened with sugar water setting lotion. Each section wound tight around 2 fingers, coiled flat against the scalp, crossed with 2 pins. The whole head finished in 10 minutes with practice, satin scarf tied over top. In the morning, each pin removed one by one, the clink of metal dropping into the glass dish on the vanity. Curls springing open, full and defined, lasting 3 to 4 days without heat. No electricity required. Just a woman's fingers, 10 cents worth of pins, and the discipline to do it every night. Number 2. The Kitchen Beautician. Miss Geneva's kitchen on a Saturday morning. 3 folding chairs in the front room, women waiting with their daughters. 2 pressing combs, heating at once. The price handwritten on a card taped to the refrigerator. Press and curl, $2. Children, $1.50. A radio playing gospel low in the window. The kitchen beautician was more than a hairdresser. She was a banker who took payment in installments. A therapist who never repeated what she heard. She built an economy with a comb, a stove, and 2 hands. No franchise could replicate what she offered, because what she offered was not a service. It was a place to belong. Number 1. The Saturday morning hot comb press. The pressing comb, heavy brass with a wooden handle, laid across the front burner on a low blue flame. The smell of Posner's bergamot pressing oil warming in the air, a mother's hand testing the heat on a white paper towel, looking for the faint gold mark. A daughter sitting on a kitchen chair between her mother's knees. The comb drawn slowly from root to tip. The soft sizzle of oil meeting heat. Steam rising like morning fog. The ear folded down gently with a fingertip as the comb passed the temple. The nape of the neck, the kitchen, they called it. The hardest part, one section at a time, 45 minutes or an hour. And when it was done, the hair swinging free and straight and shining. The relief of it being over and the pride of how it looked, both at once. Every black woman over 55 remembers the press, the heat near the ear, the hand on the forehead, the trust required to sit perfectly still while fire passed an inch from the skin. It was not just a hairstyle. It was an act of faith between mother and daughter, repeated every Saturday for the better part of a century. The flat iron did not replace it. Nothing replaced it. Because it was never only about the hair. It was about the hands, and whose hands held the comb, and the fact that she never once burned you. And somewhere right now, a daughter is sitting between her grandmother's knees. The comb is heating on the burner. The oil is warming on the back of her neck. And without a single word spoken, everything worth knowing is being passed down again. If you want more forgotten wisdom from the generations who came before us, the next video is waiting for you right now.